I'm coming across so many videos of people saying that they are just struggling. That makes you think, right? Like, well, what is the route? Like, what do you do?
How much money is enough money to be able to just raise your family and not have this worry of that at any point they can just raise your insurance and all of a sudden you just don't have enough money to pay. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elevate, where we strengthen our relationships so we can elevate our lives.
I have a topic today that I came across a few videos on TikTok. I'm in the TikTok algorithm of home ownership and DIYers and people regretting buying homes. That's my feed right now.
Okay.
So I'll have this video I'm going to play for everybody to watch, and then we'll react to it.
My freaking mortgage went up. Almost $3,000. $2,903 to be exact. Yep. So I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm upset. And I am thankful to God that I am able to pay it. I truly am. And Jesus, I am not complaining. I am just explaining. Okay. So hear me out. I'm upset because it's like, I feel like, what about the other people who can't pay, who are on a fixed income? So you mean to tell me your mortgage is a set amount every month? You're paying it, you're paying it, you're paying it. Then all of a sudden, insurance rates rise, property taxes go up. So now you've got this huge amount that you owe all of a sudden, and your escrow's in the negative. And I understand it'll go back to not exactly normal or back to the original payment because it will be slightly higher, but it will adjust itself once it's paid. I get that. But it's so excessive to me that it's bothering me. My concern is this. What's it gonna stop it from continuing to rise? What's the end game here? What protections do we have?
Crazy. First of all, we're not real estate professionals, but we do have a real estate professional that lives in Connecticut. If you're looking for a house and you want to buy, just hit up Roland, the realtor. He will help you out. And maybe after episode 100, he will come and join the podcast.
That was an excellent plug right there.
Yeah. I'll invoice him later.
He's your man.
So I did some research. Mm-hmm. So apparently what's happening is, I could be wrong, but this is what I found, is that usually that is happening on people who are building new houses because they are getting a tax estimate based on the land that they buy and what the house that they're building, the square footage. But then when the house gets appraised, when it's actually built, they're like, no, it's actually going to be this. And then the taxes go through the roof. But there's also things about like insurance going up and being crazy. That's kind of scary.
It is. And it's like how she said, thank God I can pay it. But what about the people who can't? What do you do?
That's kind of scary.
What do people do? Like if they're in a home already and their mortgage payment goes up ridiculously and you're on a fixed income, right? Some people are entrepreneurs and maybe they are hustlers and they can maybe work more hours, I don't know, do more photo shoots, whatever. Mm-hmm. But a person who works a 9 to 5 who has a set income, what do they do?
I'm going to show you what they do later on in the video because I have another reaction video that we're going to react to, which that lady explains exactly what she does. But stay tuned so you can watch that one. But for this one, what would you do?
I don't know. That would be stressful.
Like, that's excessive. Like, that's a whole other job.
Yeah, she said it went from what?
$3,600 extra.
Oh my God. How is that even legal? Can we start there?
But is it a lack of ignorance?
Is it? I mean, is that normal? I don't know. I don't think that's normal.
I need a professional in here. I
don't think that is normal. We're definitely not living in normal times, right? Especially not when it comes to finances. Mm-hmm. So this may just not be normal. Like, I don't think that is normal. I don't think our parents ever went through
Our parents didn't own houses.
I mean, that generation, not our parents. I don't think they went through those type of drastic influxes, or did they?
I don't know, because even now, let's say with what happened in 2020, and houses were selling for so much money, and it kind of brought up the value of neighborhoods, let's say. I'm assuming that property taxes on the neighborhood is going to go up, because if all the houses around there are selling for triple the price, it sounds like the new normal. I'm assuming that your house taxes probably will go up. I need a professional. I need the fucking answers.
I just don't know how. Oh, it's so unfair.
I wanted to talk about this because not only that, like, I'm coming across so many videos of people saying that they are just struggling. Like, rent is insane right now.
Yeah. And then you have people who are homeowners also struggling and talking about, you know, they have the big mortgage, but they also have like the stuff that they have to fix within the home. And now they also have to deal with like fixing everything that, or if you live in a state where it snows, or, you know, picking up the snow, the leaves, or this, the pipe, you know, owning a home is a huge responsibility, and it's not just the mortgage payment, it's the upkeep that you also have to pay for. So before buying a home, you need to be ready to also be prepared for any emergencies that happens, you know, anything that breaks or anything, you're responsible for it. It's not like when you're renting, you pay your set amount every month and you call your landlord when something goes wrong. That's like, I feel like that's the one thing that is like the benefit of renting. It's like, you know, this is the amount you're going to be paying for about a year or 2 years, depending on how long you sign that lease. But you know, this is the fixed amount you're going to be paying every month, and everything else that goes wrong with the apartment, anything that breaks, you call your landlord and he gets it fixed. Yeah. But when you own a home, you have a mortgage, and you also have to repair anything that breaks in the home, yearly, the gas and all that stuff. So,
and it used to be a thing where, you know, homes were a decent price, I guess, compared to right now. So the equity you would build throughout the time, it would make it worth it. But now it's like you're overpaying for houses. They're so expensive. Yes, you still get equity in the back end, but you're already like deep in the hole because the house is so expensive. And usually you're buying these houses that you still have to do work to them. Yeah. So it's like you're overpaying, and you're on top of that, you still have to do work. Is a whole. I used to want like 5 acres. Like, I don't want 5 acres no more.
Yeah, I know.
Hell no. Because I know I'm going to have to do that long.
Yeah, that's so much work.
Or if not, I'm going to have to pay somebody to do that long. And that's just expensive.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's something to really think about, you know. Not trying to discourage anyone who's ready to buy a home to buy a home.
I mean, we would buy a home if we could buy a home.
If we would ready, right. But that's what makes it difficult.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we still would.
But that's what makes it difficult today.
I just want a barbecue, some wings, you know.
That's what makes it difficult today to buy, because, you know, financially everybody is struggling so much that most people are living paycheck to paycheck. And to even think that you buy a home, you put all this money, the down payment and everything to actually acquire the home first, and then to think that anything can go wrong at any point and you're living paycheck to paycheck is a scary thing. Well, so you should have money, in my opinion, saved up, not only for that down payment, but for those emergencies that come up.
Well, and it used to be that you would buy a home, and because of the down payment that you had to put down, it would be lower than paying rent. And now it's kind of like rent and owning a home is the same price, except owning a home, you have to also keep up with the expenses of owning a home. Yeah. So people are like, do I
rent? Do I buy? It's a tough situation right now. We've spoken about this in previous podcasts. It's very tough right now. I don't even know what the right answer is at this point. Do you know what the right answer is? Does anybody know what the right answer is?
I have another video. I have another video. Let's react to it.
In that house for 10 years. And anybody who knew me would tell you, when you walk to my front door, it was always open.
For Rochelle Trotter and her family, this was more than just a home. It was a place where memories were made and family traditions were held.
It was a safe haven for everybody. We laughed, we talked, we slept on the floor, we danced, we had barbecues.
And the meals were shared with anyone who walked in the door. Every weekend, Rochelle's son would bring his friends over to spend the night.
And I literally raised them, 4 boys, in that house with my son. And every weekend, if they didn't play football or baseball, they were at the house.
But she recently sold that home because she couldn't afford the rising insurance premium. Her monthly mortgage went up $1,200.
Like, I feel robbed because I worked so hard to get my home. For them to have the increase of the insurance, just take it away. It's a lot because I was a single mother by myself. And people said that I couldn't afford this house. But in spite of what they said, I fought through and I kept my house. And I kept it till I couldn't keep it no more.
There's hundreds, hopefully not more, but hundreds or thousands of people who are right now experiencing the exact same situation she is.
Wow, that's sad.
Bro.
Like, imagine just working your whole life to have this dream home, you know, the American dream, and then boom, like they hit you with this extra $1,200 that you need to pay, and you find yourself not being able to afford the home you work so hard to have.
And some people will be like, oh, yo, $1,200 is not a lot. But it's like, she looks like she's an elderly person. So it's like, yeah, maybe to a young person, they can go out and find a hobby and make it happen. But she raised her kids there, and to say like, hey, now I have to give it up and find a house where? Because if she can't afford that in that neighborhood, like where
is she going to afford? Yeah. I mean,
that makes you think, right? Like, well, what is the route? Like, what do you do?
How much money is enough money to be able to just raise your family and not have this worry of that at any point they can just raise your insurance and all of a sudden you just don't have enough money to pay your home?
And I think we experienced that with Con Ed when we first moved into where we at. But I think it happened throughout the whole city. Yeah. Remember that everybody got like, I think we got like
$600 or $700
increase.
Oof, it was.
Well, it was mayhem. Like everybody was like, I can't. We was kind of like, what we gonna do?
Yeah, and it was literally like our first or second. No, it was like our second or third month there
after moving into a new place.
We were confused because obviously where we come from, we didn't have to pay. Like the heater and the AC unit wasn't included in our bill. I mean, it was part of the electricity bill, but in our
apartment complex now, everything is included in one heating and AC unit. Like, it's not central air, but
right. And even the hot water, we're basically paying for it because it heats up through a water tank that is consuming electricity.
It's an electric building, pretty much. And
so we were like, is this normal? Like, are we going to pay this much money in Con Ed? Yeah. It was crazy, but luckily it was happening to everyone and it wasn't just the building we moved to.
That shit was
but had it been that way, right?
I mean, I guess we would have probably adjusted by this point, but
I guess we would have figured it out, right? But it's such a crazy, for some people listening, maybe you may listen to this and say $600 is not a lot for you. For middle class people today, it is a lot of money.
Especially because the problem is unexpected. Like, it's not like, hey, in 5 years you can calculate that it's gonna be an extra $600, and you're like, okay, we got 5 years. It's just like, hey, next month your bill is $600 more. It's like, well, what do you mean? Yeah. What do you mean?
But I guess, I mean, that's kind of life. There's some things that are just unpredictable. That I could tell you right now. Yeah, but
the housing is getting crazy.
That gives me anxiety because there's like, I get it. I guess you have to be, used to the unpredictability, but that kind of unpredictability just makes you live on edge because you don't know what's going to come next. You don't know what is it, how much money you should have in your bank in order for you to be safe, because next thing you know, your bank account is being wiped out by this increase that's coming your way. And how do you sustain that? Like, you just, I don't know. When's this going to stop? Like, this inflation stuff and, just everything just goes up, and every year everything just gets more and more expensive. And I'm just wondering, like, when is this gonna stop?
The housing
This
thing
is
is
not
crazy because
sustainable.
even like renting apartments is insane. But also buying a house is insane. Like, how do you compete with people who are putting the whole
And I'm just wondering, like,
cash?
is this inflation? Is rent only going up in New York, or is it everywhere?
It's everywhere.
Because
but
here in New York, rent is outrageous. A 1-bedroom apartment can easily be
$3,000,
$2,500, depending on where you live. Right? You're in a bad neighborhood, you can be paying $2,000 to live in a bad neighborhood.
More than that.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We need to start paying more attention to why these things are happening. We need to start paying more attention because this doesn't just happen because.
Yeah.
There's consequences to our actions, and we need to be more aware of what's happening because we're suffering. And I feel like because let's say our generation has been, we kind of grew up in an era where we didn't struggle much. We entered a phase where we're not really paying attention to who's in Congress, who becomes president, who does this, their policies. Like, we're not aware of these things because we didn't really grow up. I know for us, we didn't really grow up even listening to anything that has to do with politics. But I feel like we need to be aware.
Yeah.
We need to pay attention because we're the ones at the bottom are the ones that suffer the most when these policies just go into play and we are not paying attention.
Yeah. You're voting based on
emotions
and like what's trending on social media.
Yeah.
And not actually digging deep into like what's actually happened and what could benefit us.
So, yeah. I just hope that, I don't know, I hope that things start to get better at some point soon because this is getting out of hand. And it's like one thing leads to the other. You know, when there's financial crisis, crime goes up and things start trickling down and it's never good.
Yeah.
It's never good.
I don't know how much lower though I don't see rents going down. Like, what, a landlord's just gonna be like, yeah, sure, I'll lose money. Like every landlord.
If rents don't go down, at least people need to start making more money. Like, because that's the problem. Everything is going up, but people are not making more money.
Yeah, but then that would mean the businesses need to make more money.
I don't know, but we need to find a solution to this because this is insane. What are we going to do, people?
But yeah, that was a quick video. Just wanted to react to what's going on. What do you guys think? What's going on? How much is a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom going if you don't live in New York? Like, how much is it going for in your state, city? We want to know. Let us know in the comment section.
Yes.
Do you rent? Do you buy? How do you feel about this? Have you had any increases in your mortgage payments?
How are you dealing with it?
Somebody just help. And if anybody sees Rolling the Realtor, just let him know that he has a seat here waiting for him. Hopefully he'll be here for episode maybe 101. Let's start fresh.
All right. That's it for today's podcast, you guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Until next time.
Peace.